The expectations on general counsels are very high. The job keeps getting very complex, and it's enriched by all the developments that we're seeing, a result of the complexity and volatility of this world in which we're living right now. The modern role of a general counsel is that of being an orchestrator of institutional responses. My name is Augusto Aragone. I'm the Executive Vice President, Secretary, and General Counsel at Ingram Micro. Ingram Micro is one of the largest distributors of technology, including hardware, software, and cloud services in the world. The way I see my role is as an orchestrator of institutional responses. So that means articulating efforts throughout the organization with, not just within the legal department, but also with other functions as well, and ensuring that the company, the organization, has a unified voice. General counsel acts as a connective tissue among the various stakeholders of the and functions of the organizations, particularly in large organizations. Well, the role has changed, since the early 2000s, where the general counsel was seen as playing two basic roles, right? Gatekeeper and business partner. And I think it has evolved. Those two pillars remain, but the expectations now are much higher. And the complexity of the business and the instability and volatility of the world require that the general counsel operate as a strategic advisor, anticipating issues coming up in the horizon, which is quite a major challenge. Technology has been an enabler of massive transactions. I've been privileged to participate in several complex, high-stakes M&A deals over the course of 15 years. In previous M&A transactions, due diligence was a Herculean effort, including massive document review and very inefficient processes. Now we would be able to execute very fast, very seamless with technology. So in a nutshell, technology has been a catalyst of business outcomes in a faster, more predictable way than before. Part of my role I see as orchestrating the selection, implementation, and optimization of technology. And so there's a plethora of technology firms out there, and it is important to understand what business issue we're trying to solve. Lumi opens up a little bit of a world of opportunities, and now the challenge is for us to re-engineer our processes and rethink our processes. Lumi is a great tool, but it doesn't help us if we just try to layer onto what we have, right? So we have to re-engineer, rethink, reimagine our processes. There are many off-label uses that we didn't think of when we started the journey together with Lumi. We are also looking at using Lumi and its powerful algorithm in the accounting area. And so we're looking at aggregating significant chunks of information and helping us sift through the massive information and come to conclusions at a faster clip than we were doing it before. And so there are many opportunities to create and capture value with Lumi that we're still exploring, and it's been very good to position the legal function as an agent of innovation within the company. Lawyers and compliance professionals, we tend to overestimate risks and underestimate opportunities. So there's a little bit of rebalancing as well on that front, brought about by the use of AI. Clearly, the use of AI needs to be transparent, responsible, fair. You have to mitigate for biases and all those aspects, and we do that. We've created guidelines and standards we hold ourselves to ensure that the product is of high quality and something we could be proud of. And we've documented those frameworks as early as 2024. So we've been ahead of the curve in trying to define the boundaries and the guardrails with which we're going to embrace technology. That excitement in your team is super important, because ultimately we're dealing with change, and change is not something that humans do with a lot of ease. And the most powerful force in organizations is inertia. And so overcoming that inertia takes a little bit of effort. And so if people realize that, look, we want you just to experiment and pilot this tool and see what you can do with it, and there's not a very long onboarding process, that definitely reduces the friction for people to start embracing the technology. Lumi has been outstanding at iterating with us, and that agility and that spirit of innovation that Lumi has been very well received by the team, and is what actually is helping us get to the outcomes that we want to achieve. Junior lawyers have a great opportunity because those who embrace AI and the same old aspirations that we had before for junior lawyers, right? In addition to being very competent from a legal perspective, have curiosity, understand financials. If you can speak several languages, that's much better. But then all of that now with the help of AI makes them very powerful. They are going from, excavators of data sets to archaeologists of insights. They can now, in a very short period of time, putting together all these inputs, get to insights that in the past it would have taken, a 7-8 year associate to provide. There's an expectation that beyond, leading legal function, providing support, legal advice to the C-suite and the board, that we also provide strategic advice, that we provide crisis management leadership, emergency response. And so that role hasn't changed and isn't likely to change. What might change, obviously, are going to be developments, geopolitics, AI, governance, fragmentation of trade, deglobalization, and so on, you name it. Those inputs will drive different areas of focus for General Counsel, but the whole expectation remains the same. So I think General Counsels have a wonderful opportunity to be shaping value for the enterprise. And that ability is premised on and powered by AI. And there's an efficiency component to the use of AI. But beyond the efficiencies, the more interesting aspect of AI and technology in general is how it changes the way we work, the way we shape value, the way we transform businesses, the way we meet customers' expectations. We have an opportunity to go from ideation to implementation of a pilot in a very short period of time. AI allows us to iterate faster and prove or disprove whatever we think might be valuable. It's a work in progress. It's never going to be finished. I think we have to be patient with ourselves in the way we look at these opportunities. Experimenting with technology is bound to give us mistakes, and mistakes should be encouraged, as long as we operate within the bounds of responsible use, regulations, ethics, and so on. I think the future is bright, and I see a lot of potential in what we're doing because we're building it together.